Let's start at the beginning. Join us as we start a new series by returning to the beginning in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It's no accident that this is the first verse in the Bible. It describes literally the beginning of everything. It turns out that's a significant thing. Nothing in the universe is here by accident. Everything, including you, is here by design. God's design. I'm not much of a philosopher. I have more of a Hebrew way of thinking than a Greek way of thinking. The Greeks wanted to figure everything out. They tried to fit everything into a system, to understand and explain everything, even to its smallest detail. That's not a bad thing. It's how we get math and history and language and all those other things that we study in school. We study them because they're beneficial. It's good to know that 5 minutes from now, you'll finish this podcast. Knowing math helps me know numbers so I can watch a clock and know when 5 minutes are up. Nothing wrong with systems and processes. The Hebrews had plenty of those as well, but they had a different way of asking the big questions. Instead of asking, how did God create the world, they were far more interested in a much more important question. Why did God create the world? Here's where that becomes important. Many people expend an enormous amount of energy arguing that science and the Bible don't mix, or that what we have learned in science somehow contradicts the Bible. That argument comes to a head when we think about the first 3 chapters of Genesis. Some people write off God entirely because they believe science will somehow disprove the Bible, especially when it comes to how the earth came to be. First off, that's an incorrect assumption. Science hasn't disproved the Bible. There is significant agreement between the two. Science and the Bible are not at odds. They do, however, answer different questions. This goes back to the Greek-Hebrew comparison. The Greeks would want to answer the question, how did the earth come to be? Genesis provides answers to that, but goes one step further. The Bible, after all, was written primarily by people from a Hebrew background who would ask a different, more critical question. Instead of asking how the earth came to be, they would ask, why did the earth come to be? That's where the focus of Genesis is. Why are we here? Why did God create us? To understand that, we have to go back to the beginning. We have to go back to before the beginning, and that's where the Bible starts. Before anything else was, God is. He started it all. Everything has its beginning in God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's significant information. I used to have a small telescope. Occasionally, I took my daughters out in the backyard to look at the stars and the planets. We would look at the craters on the moon. We would look at the rings around Saturn. We would look at Jupiter's moons. Amazing. The night sky is an awe-inspiring sight. Astronomers tell us that there are more than 100 billion stars in our galaxy, that our sun, one of these stars, is 150 trillion miles from the center of our galaxy, that our galaxy is one of a cluster of 19 galaxies, the closest of which is 30 million light years away. There are an estimated billion other galaxies containing 100 quintillion stars, and God made them all. But more importantly to us, in the midst of this vast creation, God cares about you. In all that vast expanse with its varieties of creation we've only yet begun to imagine, God has expressed His love personally to you and to me in Jesus. And this same God who spoke the universe into existence loves even you and me. Knowing that will change your whole perspective on life. And now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.